Alrighty, so we're continuing. In part one of our video, we created this floor plan drawing. And in part two, we're going to create this furniture on the furniture layer. And then we'll save those as blocks. We don't need to save the drawing as OFF-ATT. We can keep this the same. And then we'll create blocks out of each of these. It says they have a blip, which represents the insertion point. So let's get started. So here we have the floor plan that we created in part one of the video. We're going to go to the model space, and then we're going to enable the furniture layer. I'm going to change the color so that we can see that better. Make my furniture purple. I'm going to dial this down just slightly, 0.35. Let's go 0.4. Set it current. Close the layer property manager. And then off to the side, we're just going to create the geometry for this chair, desk, file cabinet, and table. We'll start with the table. It's just a circle, 24 inches in diameter. Choose circle center diameter, and you don't have to do the math. Diameter is 24. Mouse click. We're going to then put a dimension on that just to verify it. Looks fine. Draw the chair. It's going to be a 9-inch radius. And then what we'll do is we will draw a line from the quadrant. Shift right mouse click, quadrant, 6 inches. Track that over to the side. It's not going to let me get quadrant, so I'll just do it again. Track that up 6 inches. Bring that over. Trim. Verify it with a couple of dimensions. Remember, you can move the dimension placement by clicking on the grip and then just moving that up. If we want these to be arrows instead of swatches, what we can do is we can click on that and then go to properties. In the properties bar, expand it out a little bit. We're going to drill down to the point where we can find, and it would be in the first area, the type of lines and arrows that we're going to use. And so it's got the arrow as oblique, but it will let you change it in properties to a closed arrow. And if this wasn't directly over it, you would see it update. And so then we can collapse that, hit escape, and do the same for the other one. We might be able to just match property it. If we match properties, it won't change the dimension, but it will change the arrowhead. So it's a little faster technique. Let's do some more drawing. Go back to our furniture layer. Zoom down to a level that we can see it. And then we're going to draw the table or the desk and the file cabinet. The desk is going to be 42 by 30. And the file cabinet will be 30 by 15. Hit the line command. Draw that line from here. Drag that up 30 inches. Drag it to the right side. 42. 30. Verify it with some dimensions. I want to put that on the layer. Quickest way is match property. So if I match property, it'll go to the dimension layer. You could also just click on it and then select the layer that you want that to be on. In our 30-inch dimension, (2'6" is 30 inches, and it reads better than 30 inches, so I'm going to leave that alone. And then we'll draw the file cabinet. (15), 30. 15. And C for close is the shortcut. Again, we'll put some dimensions on there just to make sure everything is the right size. So here we have our furniture. We're going to make blocks out of it. And so we'll make a block for the chair, the desk, the file cabinet, and the table. And it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to go to the text layer and then input that information. I'm going to change the color of my text layer since that one is the same as my furniture layer. And I think I'll go with this color right here. It's kind of a reddish color. And I'll enable the text command. I like to use single line text. And so I'm going to separate these a little bit so I have enough room for the text. If I move them. Text, single line, down arrow, justify, middle center, and we can just put it right there. Leave the default of 4 feet for the height and the rotation of 0. And then we'll type in the word chair. Enter. That looks great. We turn off our grid, we'll see it better. We can then repeat single line text. Again, I like to justify. You don't necessarily have to. Nobody's going to know how you created the text. So do some research in the properties. 4 feet, 0, desk. Okay. 2 more times. Height's the same, rotation angle is 0. Okay, so we've added the furniture. Now we're going to create blocks. And when we create the block, we'll use these little X's as the insertion point. So creating blocks is created on the Insert tab under the block make command or create block. And so we can say create block. And when we create these, we really don't need to get the dimension lines for that. So you could turn off that layer if it makes it easier for you. I'm going to leave it on just so that we can see how that works. Create block. The block name is going to be chair. The insertion point or the base point will be right here at this midpoint. And then we'll select the objects. I'm going to use a blue window just to select the geometry. You don't need the dimensions. We'll hit enter. You can put a description on there if you'd like. I don't think so. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then it's going to want to convert it to block. I usually like to retain them. And that way, if I need that geometry, if I change it, it's not a block. I'll say okay. And then I'll make the other blocks for the other furniture. Create block. Desk. Base point. Select the objects. Hit enter. Still on retain, which is great. Base point has been selected. Okay. Block. Table. Remember to select the base point. Select the geometry. See a little glyph of it here. Okay. Then the file cabinet. Create block. Tab. Base point. Select the objects. And okay. Alrighty. So now we have created the furniture blocks. We've created the floor plan. And we're ready to insert those into the drawing. Inserting them into the drawing doesn't really need another video. We'll continue on. So what we'll do is we will use the insert command to insert the furniture into the drawing as shown. And they didn't really put any specific dimensions on here. So we're just going to put in the desk and the chair, table, some more chairs. And this looks like the file cabinet. Right. Back to the home tab. And I'm going to go on the 0 layer. When I insert these blocks, they'll come in on the layer that they were created on. So as we take a look at the first room and we go to the insert tab and we go here, you'll actually get some hieroglyphics of the different geometry. And so we can click on the chair, drag that into the room, click, and it didn't give me the option to rotate it. I'm surprised. If I hit the space bar with the grip active, it goes to move, rotate, and I'll rotate it. Escape. We'll insert the table. Desk rather. So we'll put that right there. On the blocks that I created, I should have allowed them to rotate. And so when I get back, I'm going to go and delete that. And I'm going to redefine the desk and the chair so that if I go create block, if you use the exact same name, the exact same base point, then what we want to be able to do is scale and allow it to be rotated. We don't need to do that. So I'm going to cancel that. Must be in my insertion attributes. I guess when I insert them that way, it doesn't let me rotate them. In the past, they had an insertion command. Anyway, we'll make it work. And so I'm going to type in insert and see if it behaves any differently than from that other command. And so now I have a palette that I can use to insert it. And here it's going to give me the option to rotate it. And so they've updated the software a little bit so that you have to use the actual insert command to be able to do that. All right, so let's grab the desk, drag it in there. And then I'm surprised it still didn't let me rotate that. Let's rotate it. Bit. We'll insert the file cabinet. We'll insert 2 more chairs in the table. Make the grip hot, space bar, space bar. This is a shortcut. Then we can move these into the room, then relocate some of these features until we make that look the way we want it. Righty, so that's the first room populated with the chairs. The second room, a lot of the furniture looks like it's in the same location. So I'm going to copy the furniture from one room to the other. We'll say copy, select the furniture, hit enter, and then we'll select the base point and bring it down. Destination, hit escape. We'll add a desk out here with a chair. And so I'll copy that as well. rotate it. When we rotate, we select the object, hit enter, give it the base point of rotation. I prefer to put my base points on the actual object, so it rotates about where I selected it. And then I can just move this over just a little bit. You could use a grip from here, like that. Alrighty, so we've completed step D, and I'm going to stop the recording and post it.